Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Well, it looks like XRP was on a bit of a tear yesterday. Right now, XRP is trading at 0.248. It did go as high as 0.254. So significant gains for XRP, guys. This is XRP on the hourly. Let me put it on the daily just to give you guys a zoom out of what's going on here. So here is the trend line. Yesterday we were talking about if XRP went below this trend line, we could see more downward momentum, and my guess was that it would base in the support level of 0.197 cents, so just shy of 20 cents. Here's what I was saying yesterday. When you look at XRP on the charts here, still hasn't gone below this trend line. That some are predicting that if XRP goes below this line, we are going to see it base in a fresh level of demand. But that didn't happen. So look at this trend up right now. Huge green candlestick on the daily for yesterday, and today we're also seeing some positive upward pressure, although we did see a bit of a correction for XRP. As I had mentioned before, it did breach the 25 cent mark, now trading just below 25 cents. So even taking into consideration this correction, XRP is still up 6.33% in the last 24 hours. Compared to the rest of the crypto market, we got Bitcoin only up 0.82, Ethereum 1.29%, Binance Coin 0.82, Bitcoin Cash only up 0.22, Polkadot not doing too badly, up 2.41%. But ultimately, XRP is the clear winner. Now, why is this happening? Is this pump going to continue? I've got some theories rattling around that I'm going to get to in a bit. First, I wanted to mention this with regards to the overall market. Okay, take a look at this. This from Cryptopolis on Twitter, and he retweets out this from the Daily Shot. The credit markets are pointing to downside risks for stocks. Guys, something to keep in mind. Okay, look at this divergence in trend. We got the blue here, the S&P 500 total return index on the log scale, and then the gold color is the US high yield, high grade total return HRS. So look at how it's diverging after 2019 into 2020. Now we can see historically it has generally been in sync. Okay, say for a few examples here, like in 2016, but now this divergence is growing. So something also to keep in mind with regards to the markets. There was also this piece of news here tweeted out by Harry at _the_cool_twin on Twitter. And this out a few days ago with regards to JPMorgan Chase facing a $920 million fine for market manipulation. Originally a response to Mr. Whale at Crypto Whale's tweet up here. Some of the world's largest banks were recently caught manipulating the prices of gold and silver, a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So we've got this article, and I just wanted to pick it up here. The case against JPMorgan Chase for manipulating precious metals and treasury markets has many of the usual features. On September 29th, it admitted to wrongdoing in relation to the actions of employees who authorities claim fraudulently rigged markets tens of thousands of times in between 2008 and 2016. The bank agreed to pay a $920 million fine to settle various probes by regulators and law enforcement. This includes a $436.4 million fine, a $311.7 million fine in restitution to parties harmed by the practices, and a $172 million fine in disgorgement, i.e. paying back unlawful earned profits. So, some of the traders involved face criminal charges, of course. If convicted, they are likely to spend time in jail. This was happening for almost a decade, okay, 8 years, in between the years of 2008 to 2016. They are just getting to it now, guys. Something to think about, because somebody else brought up the fact that, well, you know, if they can covertly manipulate the metals market for that long, who's to say that they can't manipulate the crypto market? Now, it is a possibility. Definitely, there is the possibility that these guys are certainly manipulating the crypto market. I don't think that is why XRP is rising at the moment. Of course, we usually think of market manipulation as in, pushing prices down, but it can go the other way as well. Let's not forget, people who have control over the market can control a bullish run or a bearish trajectory. So let's keep that in mind too. There was also this, guys, from XRP Crypto Wolf: debt cancellation needed to help the poorest countries, says World Bank president. Interesting to put this into perspective of the grand narrative, considering we all know that there is a great reset coming up, and this is coming from the World Bank president. So let me read you a little bit of this. The beer flu pandemic could trigger a debt crisis in some countries, so investors must be ready for granting some form of relief that could also include debt cancellation, World Bank President David Malpass was quoted as saying on Sunday. It is evident, here's a quote, "It is evident that some countries are unable to repay the debt they have taken on. We must therefore also reduce the debt level. This can be called debt relief or cancellation," Malpass told Handelsblatt Business Daily in an interview. It is important that the amount of debt is reduced by restructuring, Malpass added. He pointed to similar steps in previous financial crises, such as in Latin America and the so-called HIPC initiative for highly indebted countries in the 1990s. Rich countries last month backed an extension of the G20's Debt Service Suspension Initiative, the DSSI, approved in April to help developing nations survive the beer flu pandemic, which has seen 43 of a potential 73 eligible countries defer $5 billion in official sector debt payments. Now, if the world is going to go around and forgive everybody's debt, think about what that means in terms of responsibility, what that means in terms of money, the value of a promise. This puts so much into question that we should all be thinking about. Why is this kind of thing even allowed, right? We have rules in this world for a reason, and it seems as though everybody is just kind of doing what they want. Debts are being racked up. We have the heads of these bodies saying, well, because of this, we might bend the rules a little bit. And so this puts into question so much, in my opinion. I really do question, not that I haven't in the past, but I do question the stability of the world and who's running it, and I still have so many questions. The one thing, though, that I do have confidence in is cryptocurrency, because it cannot be manipulated. In terms of currencies like Bitcoin, they were created at a time to combat this exact thing. There's a finite amount. It is deflationary as a currency as opposed to inflationary. Not that I'm a huge Bitcoin proponent by any means, because it definitely does have its shortfall, so I guess I wouldn't consider myself a maximalist, certainly not. I do see the benefits in it, though, in terms of what the world is going through at this moment in time. But then there's the other side of this story, okay? Revamping the world, making sure that the people making the rules have a good second go at it, and the beauty of this is that they will be utilizing blockchain technology, DLT, and companies like Ripple to implement these changes. And we know, of course, Ripple, a huge proponent of XRP, they have a vested interest in using that cryptocurrency to change the world. So then we've got this kind of news here, okay? Italian digital payments firm merges to create a $17.6 billion fintech group. So this has to do with Italian rivals Nexi and Sia. They finalized a merger to create a fintech giant that can compete in an increasingly consolidated European market. So they just recently struck a deal worth about $17.6 billion US dollars. It's estimated that the new entity will take a domestic market share of 70%. According to a report from Reuters on October 5th, the all-share agreement will give Nexi roughly 70% of the newly merged company, with Sia having an equity value of 4.6 billion euros, or rather $5.4 billion. Nexi's private equity owners Advent, Bain Capital, and Classidra will own 23% of the newly created fintech group. On the eve of the deal's finalization, the Financial Times has characterized the merger as heralding the potential creation of one of Europe's largest fintech groups. Well, why is this important, guys? There was some big news about Italy and the banking sector back a few months ago now. But this is back from April 2020. R3 powers Italian bank's blockchain settlement system. I did report on this back then, just to refresh your memory. 32 banks in Italy have gone live with one of the first real-world deployments of enterprise blockchain technology in interbank financial systems. This had to do with Spunta Banca DLT app for interbank reconciliation, and been built on Italian Banking Association on R3's Corda Enterprise platform. This heralds one of the most significant real-world digital transformations in the interbank financial services sector to date. This coming from the CEO, David Rudder. He is the CEO of R3. Connecting such a large and diverse group of banks in a live environment is a major milestone for Corda, providing a glimpse into a brighter, more efficient, and interconnected future for financial markets. This had to do with Corda. Now, we know Corda has the capability to settle with XRP, but I think more significant in this is that it was taking 32 banks in Italy, which is the majority of banks in Italy, from my understanding. Now we've got this. Italian digital payment firms are now merging to create a mega fintech group, and of course they're realizing the benefit of DLT technology. They probably also realize that maybe it's not worth competing with one another at this stage in the game. Maybe we can all make money together if we lower the costs simultaneously, and so what better way to do that than to merge? Now, we also had this news, guys, this coming from King Solomon at XRP_Owl back in October 2019, so this is almost a year ago now. Nexi Bank in Italy, the cannibalization of the traditional value chain via open banking, and Ripple. And this with a report here dated a year ago, October 2019, with regards to Nexi, stating right here in their report, in the long term, the evolution of blockchain and distributed ledger technology could lead to the growth of new payment technologies also able to disintermediate part of the value chain of payment cards, for example, through the use of dedicated cryptocurrencies, so-called stable coins, now essentially used for international payment, i.e. Ripple. So they named Ripple in this report back from a year ago. Now we have Nexi and Sia finally merging to create this mega fintech group. Could they be using RippleNet? It is definitely a possibility. Of course, there are so many partnerships that we still do not know about. We know Ripple has over 350 partnerships, but there are a lot of NDAs still. Okay, we just don't know about every single one. We can surmise that some companies are connected to Ripple just based on the partnerships with other companies that are partnered with Ripple. But again, this is still speculation. We still have to wait for this all to shake out to really know for sure. At that point, we could see more value surrounding the XRP token. So a lot of great information here with regards to these banks in Italy, and also connecting the history of this to RippleNet. Of course, a great tweet from King Solomon from last year. And guys, we've also got this from the Cryptic Poet. Ripple partner Finastra launches pre-packaged payment solutions for small and mid-sized banks. So Finastra today revealed Fusion Payments to Go, its payment solution aimed at small to medium-sized banks looking to implement domestic and cross-border payment services in Europe, the US, and South Africa. The solution comes pre-packaged with reduced fixed implementation costs and rapid, secure, and scalable deployment in the cloud on Microsoft Azure. Banks will benefit from the reduced costs and risks associated with system maintenance whilst meeting changing market regulation and customer demands for frictionless and immediate payments. Frictionless and immediate payments, of course, that has been part of Ripple's narrative since the beginning. Removing the friction from these exotic corridors specifically. We know Finastra is a Ripple partner, and it seems like every single day they are releasing another press release to tell us about the advancements that they're making with their company. Nevertheless, built on Finastra's payment hub, Fusion Global Pay Plus, Fusion Payments to Go provides best practice functionality and operating rules for supporting clearing and settlement mechanisms, along with standard integration to external applications. It removes the need for expensive scheme maintenance, meaning that banks can redirect these funds towards the delivery of innovative business services that will improve the customer experience and deliver revenue growth. Fusion Payments to Go is available to mid and small tier banks in Europe interested in implementing RTI and or TIPS immediate payments, as well as the Fed and TCH, the clearinghouse, immediate payment schemes in the United States, with other schemes to follow. It also supports banks worldwide looking to implement SWIFT. So this is let's hear it, guys, interoperable system with the Fed, the TCH, RTI and or TIPS immediate payments, and it can facilitate payments for banks worldwide looking to implement SWIFT. So this is a solution that, of course, is going to be very, very popular down the road. At a point, there were barriers to entry. Now, with the democratization of payment solutions, Ripple has opened up the doors for these bigger companies to now partner with these smaller banks. So like Finastra, for example, partnering with these smaller banks so that they can do business on a level playing field. As they mentioned down here, with the Fed, the clearinghouse, they can plug into SWIFT and do business there as well. So really great news. I wanted to thank the Cryptic Poet for posting that. And along similar lines, we got another one here, guys, from the Cryptic Poet. Ripple partner Neum expands into the Middle East. So Neum, a global financial technology platform, today announced its expansion into the Middle East with the appointment of Ayub Jamail and its new general manager business development for the region. The Middle East has become a hotbed for fintech activity and regulatory development, with several jurisdictions competing to establish themselves as the region's fintech hub in recent years. Fintech across the Middle East is also set to grow at a compounded annual rate of 30%, and expected to raise over $2 billion in venture capital funding by the year 2020. So by the end of this year, that is remarkable. With fintech steadily growing across the region, Neum will be extending its unique diversified payment infrastructure offering for large enterprises, as well as banks and financial institutions in the Middle East. This move also seeks to enable Neum to more effectively provide ground support for its existing and growing client base in the region, such as Mashrek Bank. So more news here, guys, for the Middle East. We know there has been a connection with other Middle Eastern countries and RippleNet, i.e. the central bank in Kuwait, has been favorable to Ripple, as well as many other smaller banks in that region. And now Neum, a Ripple partner, is looking to also expand in the Middle East. So multi-prong effect here. You know, when they say Ripple is going to run the world, whether that be directly or indirectly, I can see how this is playing out. You know, 2 years ago, when I first got into this, it was very, very difficult to fathom the idea of one company dominating the financial sector. But as the months have gone on, you know, I've been in this for a while, guys. Not as long as some, but this certainly isn't my first rodeo. And by following Ripple, over time, it's just getting clearer and clearer how this RippleNet stronghold, how it's going to form across the world. And I know some of you guys are probably not going to like this, but when we were all introduced to the infamous bear back in early 2018, I suppose it would have been, he was saying this. He was saying essentially that this is what's going to happen. And at that time, you know, some of us were getting really excited. Some of us were getting very angry because they were getting triggered. Because why? Why would you follow a cartoon bear? Well, the fact of the matter is, it's all rolling out, and this was all before it happened. So shout out to Bearable Guy. Yes, an unofficial shout out to Bearable Guy. And for those of you who do not care for the bear, well, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm going to keep moving along though, guys. This from DJ Peter Vass. So digital euro studies and Ripple. Can it change the world? And we've recently heard that the European Central Bank wants to continue with its digital euro project that just released recently. So the ECB released a report on the digital euro this month. As we reported during the day, the European Central Bank said in the report regarding the digital currency, the digital euro will support Europe's progress towards innovation. It will contribute to its financial sovereignty and will strengthen the role of the euro on the global stage. So following these statements, what developments will emerge about the infrastructure of the digital euro are also expected with curiosity. For example, it caught my attention today that a user on Twitter made the following comment under the news about the ECB's report. This means the doorway for XRP. Now, of course, everybody's got their own opinion on this, but let's not forget about what the Bank of France, okay, the Central Bank of France stated. They stated that the results of its self-declared experiment will be part of a contribution to the euro system. Moreover, a recent report revealed that two blockchains, Ethereum and Ripple XRP, can be used to issue CBDCs. This would lead to a solution that would allow end-to-end transactions in central bank currencies tokenized on a blockchain. The CBDC unit can be exchanged between assets and do not belong to the digital currency's official circulation network via the secondary blockchain. There are already a lot of central banks in Europe that are very, very favorable towards RippleNet and XRP, utilizing XRP to source that ODL. The Bank of England is one of them. They have already declared XRP not a security, and they are ready to utilize XRP once world regulatory clarity comes to pass. At least that's what it sounds like to me. Now, what about all these other countries in Europe, the European Central Bank? Well, we already talked about Italy. France is also very, very favorable to Ripple and XRP, as I just mentioned. We're seeing more innovations with regards to CBDCs, a digitized euro, and Christine Lagarde, obviously the head of the European Central Bank, has historically come out and used some of the same language that some of the top CEOs at Ripple have used when discussing the world, the transformation of world finance, the innovative idea that blockchain could change this. And let's not forget that level playing field. So there are a lot of reasons why XRP will rise, because it holds value, because it is a cryptocurrency that has the capability to transform the future of finance. This is why it holds value. But right now we're looking at it, and we're looking at it rise. Yesterday was kind of unexpected, and some people were asking me, what's going on here? Is this currency going to keep rising? Is crypto going to keep rising? Is Bitcoin going to follow XRP at some point? Let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick here on the chart. Bitcoin still, we haven't seen that pop. It has been slowly climbing. Right now, Bitcoin trading at 10,006. But we haven't seen that same pop that we've seen with XRP just as of yesterday. And it seems like it's kind of out of the blue. Well, why is it happening, guys? Some people have some ideas on this, namely Galgatron. Anybody know what's pumping XRP right now? Well, Galgatron's bet is on a pre-swell pump. We've seen it in the past, and Galgatron, as you guys may or may not know, quite an intelligent participant within the XRP community. So here is an XRP price chart that he posts. He says, my bet's on a swell pre-pump, and this is pretty abrupt. He goes on to say, did everyone fail math or something? This 6.8% jump with doubling of volume over 8 hours doesn't register as significant. You deserve to remain poor. That means, in Galgatron's eyes, this is a significant pump, guys, and it seems, although seemingly out of the blue, we know swell is coming up. JC Collins here on Twitter asks, I was thinking yesterday and assumed someone on here had already talked about it, but I'm expecting some movement from other cryptos into XRP and ramping up as we move closer to the flare snapshot on December 12th. Maybe this upward movement today isn't it, but thoughts. And so Galgatron responds here, I can see how one could hypothetically say in a non-prediction way that eventually we'd see wealth moving into XRP to capture the spark drop, and that might also possibly in a non-prediction way lead to a wealth flight event after. Today is more likely a pre-swell pump. So Jungle Inc. here obviously stating it has to go up sometimes. And Real Boy XRP saying going into XRP right now is like going into the old gold, and everyone knows it, only a matter of time. The powers that be didn't allow for any of this to go on this long just to kill the switch. We got to remember, although the market has been up and down and up and down, and you know, if we look at XRP on the daily throughout the last 2 years or so, ultimately this trajectory has been a downward trajectory since the hype of the last bull run. We have seen nothing but lower highs on the long term, also lower lows on the long term, going as low as, 12 cents, maybe 9 cents even, going as low as 9 cents, let's call it, back at the absolute depths of the market back in mid-March when everything was shut down because of the beer flu. So I can see why some XRP investors are skeptical at this point. But guys, let's not forget, with regards to this again, and I'm referring to Galgatron's tweet up here, assuming that this could be a swell pre-pump. Let's not forget that way back in 2018, right before swell, we did see XRP rise from 27 cents all the way up to 76 cents. Okay, that was between September 18th and September 21st. Okay, so it started on the 18th, ended on the 21st. That was 4 days. So 4 days, guys, just 4 days, and XRP pumped 181% in 4 days. And that was just a pre-swell pump. That was just on the hype, the news that we were going to get, the news that we assumed was going to be the XRapid release, and sure enough, it was. Of course, the XRapid release didn't do much for price after that. As you guys can see, price just kind of went back down. We thought at that time that that was when, the whole world was going to run on XRP. But of course, we were still way too early at that point, and that was just a speculative move. So are we seeing the same thing now? It is a possibility, okay? It is a possibility, but that's not to say that we won't see XRP rise another 180% from, what was it at the bottom here, about 23 cents? And 180% would bring us 23 times 180, 23 times 180%. Okay, that would bring us up another 41 cents, which could ultimately bring us to 64 cents. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but let's not look at it in terms of cents. Let's look at it in terms of percentages. And 64 cents, guys, would bring us all the way up to 64 roughly here. Okay, let me make that line a little darker just to show you guys where I'm talking about. I'm going to remove these lines as well, just to show you guys what I'm talking about here. Okay, this would be 64 cents. This would be the equivalent of 2018's swell pump if we saw that same kind of action. So XRP could come up here. That would mean it would breach that 50.5 cent line and actually come up within this resistance level that we did see back in September 18 for that last swell pump. It wouldn't go up to the top, obviously, but it still would be in this level of resistance or this supply zone. Let's also not forget, guys. So first we have swell coming up. That is October 14th and 15th, 2020. But let's also not forget that there's this from XRP Crypto Wolf, cross-border payments, a new beginning, and this is going to be part of of a presentation on October 19th from the IMF, The Future of Cross-Border Payments, A New Beginning, Cross-Border Payments, A Vision for the Future. This panel of high-level policymakers will discuss the advent of new digital currencies and the future of cross-border payments. The focus will be on macro-financial effects on monetary policy, financial stability, capital flows, financial inclusion, and the international monetary system. To what extent and how should policymakers collaborate to maximize social benefits and limit costs and risks? Well, we already know how to limit costs. We already know what the most efficient cryptocurrency is in order to move money. And the moderator, Kristalina Georgieva, obviously part of the IMF. Some heavy hitters on here, including Augustin Karstens, the general manager of the Bank for International Settlements, and Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve in the United States of America. So guys, is it possible to see 64 cents in a pre-swell pump? Well, we've seen it in the past, so by no means is it impossible. We saw it within 4 days of XRP pumping. We've already seen XRP pump quite a bit yesterday. Hopefully the trajectory will rise today, and I wanted to end off with this. Credible Crypto is predicting XRP will rise 12,900% in the next bull cycle. Now, this is based on previous numbers, and I'm not suggesting that this is going to happen pre-swell, but in the next bull cycle, so let's talk about the end of 2021, possibly the beginning of 2022. When asked to provide his price prediction for the 4th largest cryptocurrency, Credible Crypto explains why he believes XRP can skyrocket between $20 and $30 before the current bull market expires, and he says it's gone up plus 1,000 times in the last run. This would just be 100 times. Regarding sell pressure, weak hands have long sold their XRP for other projects. The ones holding now won't sell soon. So he's predicting at least $20 to $30 in the next bull run before the bull market expires. And as you guys know, we are already in a bull run, and it looks as though we're in a pre-swell pump. Could 64 cents be that next level of resistance? Will XRP shoot up to 64 cents before swell, and how far will it go beyond that? I don't have a crystal ball, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.